On the news, President Tinubu's administration reels out one-year achievements with ministerial briefing. Federal government reverts to original route for Lagos-Calabar highway to save submarine cables. And court orders interim forfeiture of monies and properties linked to Emefiele. It's a pleasure to have you join us on News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I'm Tamilore Akinkolye. Muhammadu Sanusi II has received his letter of appointment as the Emir of Kano barely a day after he was reinstated by Governor Abba Yusuf. He received the letter at Government House in Kano on Friday at an event attended by top government officials, traditional rulers, kingmakers and other dignitaries. Sanusi's return to throne comes 4 years after his dethronement by the immediate past Governor Abdullahi Ganduje. Governor Yusuf signing of the Kano State Emirates Council Repeal Bill 2024 into law paved the way for Sanusi's reinstatement. At the event, the governor re-echoed the emir's role and urged them to lead according to Islamic tenets. And now the reinstatement of Sanusi as the Emir of Kano has sparked discussions about the role of traditional institutions in politics. And shedding more light on this matter, Abdulateef Abubakar Jos, who spoke on our flagship program Deji 360, says traditional institutions play a distinct role separate from politics and it's crucial to safeguard them from undue influence. According to him, political shifts shouldn't automatically dictate changes in traditional leadership. He is of the opinion the traditional rulers must maintain their connection to their communities and refrain from political involvement to perceive their integrity.
There should be a limit to what the traditional leaders can do. And at the same time, there should be a limit to what the politicians can do. Because you see, we need to separate this and draw a line between politics and the tradition and culture. There should be a line that will be drawn, whereby if you want to go into politics, you can as well drop your traditional robe of the traditional leader and go into politics. And if you want to be a politician, be a politician, not a traditional leader. If you look at the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Mohammed Abubakar III, he does comment on political issues in instances whereby the people are not comfortable with probably the economic situation or the political situation or the security challenges or what have you, but he wouldn't go into mainstream politicking.
That's true.
He will express views of the people and say, look, these are what the people, these are what my people want. These are what my people are talking about. But in the case of Muhammad Sanusi II now, I think he ought to have learned his lesson at the same time.
Meanwhile, a group of concerned citizens and stakeholders have staged a protest around the presidential villa and National Assembly in Abuja, calling on President Bola Tinubu to address the new developments in Kano Emirate. Under the banner of the Concerned Patriot of Nigeria, the protesters marched peacefully carrying banners and signs, expressing their concerns about the escalating situation in Kano. They appealed to President Tinubu to use his authority to resolve what they call a crisis and restore peace and stability in the state. This is after Governor Abba Yusuf dissolved the Five Emirates Council and reinstated Muhammadu Sanusi II as the Emir of Kano State.
The Concerned Patriots of Nigeria, CPN, therefore condemned the actions of Kano State Governor. The governor's choice of action flies in the face of reasons and has no place in sane and civilized society. We urge Governor Yusuf to retrace his steps and stop further undermining the peace of Kano State and by implication the peace of the nation Nigeria. We also condemn the new Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, dominated Kano State House of Assembly that they have cemented their place as a conclave of shame to have reverted into a mere rubber stamp for the megalomaniac tantrums of the state governor. They, alongside Governor Yusuf, have taken their desperation to an extent that could set the ancient city of Kano on fire and cause breaches in the land. Mr. President, sir, seeing that the Kano State Governor is recalcitrant to avail himself of reasoning, the concerned patriot of Nigeria calls on Your Excellency, Mr. President, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to call Governor Yusuf to order, since the provocation he is causing in Kano State could affect the entire country, Nigeria. We have also resolved to invite the international community to take note of the Kano State Governor's action, which can breach law and order in the country, especially against the backdrop of the wave of insecurity that plagues the Sahel. The world must hold Abba Yusuf account for whatsoever undesirable outcome result from his desperate act.
May 29 will mark the first anniversary of the President Bola Tinubu's administration, and as part of activities to mark the anniversary, ministers have been taking turns to reel out the achievement of their ministries in the last 1 year in a specially organized ministerial sectoral briefing. Now, several ministers have so far spoken about significant milestones and successes in their respective sectors, showcasing the administration's impact over the past year. Now, this next report has more details. Gathered in the hall are various ministers from President Bola Tinubu's cabinet, who are here to discuss the achievements made in their ministries under Tinubu's leadership. Opening the sectoral debate, Minister of the FCT Nyesom Wike expressed optimism about the administration's impact on Nigerians, also mentioning several key achievements such as the implementation of the FCT Service Commission and the commissioning of 120 kilometers of road in 6 area councils.
We have now started to build 3 terminals for the FCT, 3 terminals, so that you know that if you want to board a bus, if you want to take a taxi, you go to social terminal. You know who is on. You know who's operating this bus. If on your own, you choose to be on the road and you see a vehicle, then that is your own risk. So building of these 3 terminals will reduce the level of kidnapping, one chance, as the case may be.
Minister of Defense Abubakar Badaru also reported significant progress in national security and defense, such as the neutralization of over 9,300 adversaries, including bandits, terrorists, and kidnappers by the armed forces and other security agencies.
One question you will ask, why are these attacks coming? Well, I think most of you that lives in the riverine areas, in the villages, and these attacks happen around local governments that have forests. These people run and hide in the forest, come out on motorcycle, attack a community, and run back. But we are deploying technology today so that we can see them coming and take care of them before they attack our people. And that is in place, and we will continue to fight, and we will continue to deliver. And I assure you, the successes that we have enjoyed in the last 1 year will be replicated, and will do more the next year, because even the recruitment has improved for the armed forces.
In the steel sector, Minister Shuaibu Ado announced a major development at the Ajaokuta Steel Complex. According to him, reviving the Ajaokuta Steel Complex is a crucial step towards reducing Nigeria's dependency on imported steel.
We have obtained presidential approval from Mr. President himself to raise private capital to restart the light section mill of the Ajaokuta Steel Plant. We are at the final stages of raising about 35 or over 35 billion naira from a local financial institution, which is around $25 million, to be able to restart the light section mill of the complex so that we can produce iron rods.
The Minister of Petroleum also addressed the common misconception that queues at petrol stations automatically indicates fuel scarcity. He clarified that the queues often form because people are seeking to purchase fuel at lower prices.
If you see queues in fuel filling stations, that doesn't mean there's any scarcity. Fuel is cheaper in the NNPC filling stations. And so when you are driving and you see queues in some filling stations, it's not as if there's any scarcity. But the price between, what PMS is sold in the NNPC filling stations and the ones owned by IPMA members is maybe between the neighborhood of 60 to 80 naira per liter. And so some people may prefer to go and queue under the NNPC filling stations to buy at a cheaper rate. That doesn't mean there's any fuel scarcity.
With all the successes and achievements outlined from various ministers in their ministry, it is clear that the Tinubu-led administration is making significant strides for a better future for Nigerians. Tamilore Akinkolie, TV360, Lagos. Minister of Works Dave Umahi has announced that the federal government will revert to the gazetted route within certain kilometers of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project to safeguard submarine cables. He disclosed this at a meeting with residents who are affected by the project in Lagos. This follows discussion with lawyers, traditional rulers, property owners and ICT professionals who expressed their concerns regarding both the new and old alignment of the project. Seeking the cooperation of residents, the minister said the reversal to the original gazetted route was facilitated by President Bola Tinubu's intervention, which aimed to protect houses and businesses in the community. He added that President Bola Tinubu will officially flag off the road on Sunday, May 26.
We are not here to fight. A king that kills the people is ruling, has nobody to rule. So we are here to solve your problems and we seek your cooperation. We believe that every problem has got a solution. If a problem presents itself and has no solution, so it's not a problem, you should ignore it. So I believe strongly by God's special grace that we all walk out of here smiling. The project is for each and every one of us. I meant to have 750 houses to demolish. New alignment, we have 490 houses to demolish. But the infrastructure on the gazetted right of way are far very sophisticated, even though they broke the law. So we are here to find solution. Let me invite all of you on 26th, that is on Sunday, to join us to receive Mr. President to flag off this coastal route, 700 kilometers. Let me say that if you give me attention you've been given, we'll shorten the time we'll stay here. We have fully redesigned Section 1, which is 47.47 kilometers ending at Lekki. Ending at that route that at Leko, yes, Leko in Lekki, and so that has been fully awarded and procured, and we can say that we've done everything possible to put human face in the alignment and realignment as Mr. President directed.
A federal high court in Ikoyi, Lagos has ordered the interim forfeiture of $4.7 million and 830 billion naira and several properties linked to the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. The order was issued on Friday by Justice Yelin Bogoro following an ex parte motion presented by EFCC counsel Bilikisu Buhari. The FCC had sought the interim forfeiture of the funds and properties under relevant legal provisions, including Section 17 of the Advanced Fee Fraud and Other Fraud-Related Offences Act 2006 and the court's inherent jurisdiction. The agency specifically requested the forfeiture of funds held in specific accounts suspected to be proceeds of unlawful activities. The case was, however, adjourned to July 2, 2024 for further proceedings on the motion for final forfeiture. And the Federal Capital Territory FCT Police Command has arrested over 100 scavengers in connection with rising crime rates in the nation's capital. Reports from FCT residents have consistently highlighted incidents of missing items and theft, particularly occurring during night time. During the arrest, law enforcement agency recovered a range of items from the suspect. Now, addressing the public, FCT Police Commissioner Bennett Igwe acknowledged public concerns regarding the effectiveness of justice system and the sustainability of efforts to combat this issue.
Because of the several complaints received from members of the public about the activities of the criminal group that termed themselves with the name of Babambola. So far, we have arrested many of them. Some of them are here. About 300 of them already in the prison since yesterday. We want to clean the city because we have seen that some of them, in the disguise that they are Babambolas or pickers, they end up robbing the house and vicinity of where they have gone. When you leave your house, before you come in, a lot of your things will be missing. If you know what to recover from them, generators, you can see their knives, their equipments. In Zuba, we recovered 2 guns from Babambola group in Zuba. And all people's household equipments were recovered from them. So they are not ordinary. Many of them are not even Nigerians. But we are going to do our best to ensure safety of every household in FCT.
We'll go on a break here, but still to come, World Court orders Israel to halt assault on Gaza's Rafah. Details of the story after this break. Welcome back. Now a recap of our top stories. Minister of Works Dave Umahi has announced that the federal government will revert to the original gazetted route of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway to safeguard submarine cables. This decision followed concerns raised by various stakeholders, including lawyers, traditional rulers, property owners, and ICT professionals. The minister added that President Tinubu will officially inaugurate the road on Sunday, May 26. We also told you that the Federal High Court in Ikoyi, Lagos has granted an interim forfeiture order for $4.7 million and 830 billion naira, along with several properties linked to former Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. Justice Yelin Bogoro issued the order on Friday following an ex parte motion presented by EFCC counsel Biliki Subuari. The EFCC specifically requested the forfeiture of funds held in specific accounts suspected to be proceeds of unlawful activities. Now, in case you missed any of the news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Lime's World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. It's now time for business news. Okpayemi Owosheni would be joining us to keep us updated. Over to you, Okpayemi.
Thank you, Tamilore. Welcome to Business News. The National Bureau of Statistics says Nigeria's gross domestic product declined by 2.98% in the first quarter of 2024. In its latest report, the Bureau put the nation's current growth rate at 2.98%, saying the growth rate is higher than the 2.31% recorded in the same quarter in 2023, but lower than the 3.46% recorded in the fourth quarter of 2023. According to the Bureau, the performance of the GDP in the first quarter was driven mainly by the services sector, which recorded a growth of 4.32% and contributed 58.04% to the aggregate GDP. Still on business, the Nigerian Senate has issued a directive urging the Ministry of Aviation and the Nigerian Air Force to assume control and transform the deserted and unproductive wasteland of the abandoned Shell airstrip at Olobiri Oil Well into a modern Air Force base in Bayelsa. This decision follows a motion presented by Benson Agada, the senator representing Bayelsa East. According to him, the airstrip has remained inactive and neglected for an extended period. In his ruling on the resolutions, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, expressed optimism that the revitalization of the abandoned airstrip into an Air Force base will bring renewed optimism to the local community.
The Senate knows that the Shell airstrip, constructed in 1958, following the first discovery of crude oil in 1956, sitting on over 25 hectares of land, situated at Itokopri Bush, hosted the famous oil well, Olobiri Oil Well 1 in Utogidi community, has long been abandoned.
I think it is right and fitting and equitable, and in terms of logistics, it is appropriate to have an Air Force base in that part of the South-South. It has merit, and I urge my colleagues to support it, knowing that it is not a decree that must be invoked today. The appropriate Air Force authorities will plan it, and they will know how to face the development.
We have finished drilling the oil. We have left the soil desolate. We have abandoned the site, and yet it's actually a historical site. That there was the first oil well ever discovered in Nigeria in 1956. Very sadly, some years ago, I was shocked to realize that that area had no electricity for over 33 years. The whole of that community had no electricity. The moment the oil companies move out, after they conclude the excavation, after they drain, they finish with the oil. After they sapped the oil, the area was left abandoned.
We'll go on a short break and be back with stock market report. Nigeria's equities market closed this week trading on a bearish note, reducing slightly by 0.05%, with the market capitalization at 55.23 trillion naira. Well, PZ Customs came out last with an end-of-day price depreciation of 10%, closing at 19 naira 80 kobo per share, followed closely by EcoBank Transitional, which closed at 21 naira 65 kobo per share. Now, in the aggregate, 123 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 16 gainers against 20 losers. At the end of the last weekday of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, a total of 796 million of volumes of shares were exchanged in 7,585 deals, corresponding to a market value of over 15 billion naira. Now, compared to the previous NGX trading day, that's Thursday, May 23rd, today's data shows about 3% decline in deals. Well, let's switch to our foreign equities. The UK FTSE and Japan's Nikkei took a plunge at the close of trade, but the US Dow Jones maintained a northward position, closing at 0.21%. Let's take a look at our foreign exchange market as well. We see a bit of push and pull as the naira struggles to gain its ground against the dollar, increasing by 11 naira 51 kobo from the 1,468 naira 18 kobo recorded yesterday to trade at 1,479 naira 69 kobo on the official market today and at 1,510 naira on the black market. The Great British pound traded at 1,885 naira 28 kobo on the official market and at 1,900 naira on the black market, while the euros traded at 1,606 naira 9 kobo on the black official market and at 1,580 naira on the black market. Or that's it on both business and stock market reports. Back to you, Tamilore, for the rest of the news.
Thank you for that update, Opayami. Now, on the global scene, judges at the top United Nations Court has issued a landmark emergency ruling ordering Israel to immediately cease its military assault on the southern Gaza city of Rafah. This ruling comes in response to South Africa's case accusing Israel of genocide, while the International Court of Justice (ICJ), also known as the World Court, lacks enforcement mechanism. The case underscores Israel's increasing global isolation due to its aggressive campaign in Gaza. This offensive, particularly targeting Rafah, began despite objections from its closest ally, the United States. Now, in delivering the ruling, World Court President Nawaf Salem said the deteriorating situation in the Palestinian enclave warranted a new emergency order and further mandated Israel to open the Rafah crossing between Egypt and Gaza to facilitate the entry of humanitarian aid. Still on the foreign scene, South Africa's former President Jacob Zuma says that he will fight for his rights after the country's top court ruled that he was not eligible to run for parliament in next week's election. The Constitutional Court ruled on Monday that Zuma's 15-month jail sentence for contempt of court in 2021 disqualified him from standing in May 29 vote, as the Constitution prohibits anyone given a prison sentence of 12 months or longer from holding a parliamentary seat. While Zuma's name will be removed from the MK's list of parliamentary candidates, his face will remain on the election's ballot paper as it is the registered leader of the party. And on sport, Barcelona has made a decision to part way with coach Xavi Hernandez following a trophy-less season from the Catalan club. This move comes just weeks after Xavi and club president Joan Laporta had agreed that he would remain in his post. Xavi will oversee Barcelona's final La Liga match against Sevilla on Sunday before departing from his role as coach. Now, former Bayern Munich and Germany coach Hansi Flick is strongly rumored to be the frontrunner to replace Xavi at Barcelona. Still on sport, France all-time scorer Olivier Giroud has said he would retire from international duty after the Euro 2021 championship in Germany. The former Arsenal and Chelsea forward was named in Coach Didier Deschamps' provisional squad for Euros. Now, France, who was knocked out by Switzerland on the last 16 of Euro 2020, last lifted the trophy in 2000. They will face Austria in their Euro group stage opening game on June 17 before taking on the Netherlands and Poland. Now that wraps up our bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for watching. I'm Tamilore Akinkwulie. See you again next time.